So I took a different approach on the wiring. I read a lot of different instructions and manuals, and most of them basically are talking about that you run back and then you split the wires between the yellow and the brown. I'm sorry, yellow and the green, and then you go back to the back. What I didn't like about it then is that you're having to deal with 3 different pinch points. You got one pinch point dealing with where the tongue's going to fold down, and then now you're dealing with 2 pinch points back here on the trailer when it folds in half. So the other thing was they talked about is the manual basically calls for that you tie the white wire, the ground, onto the frame, and then all the lights, you tie the white wire to the frame. The problem with that is that there's not a whole lot of metal that you can connect to from the front to the back. So if the lights are hitting the paint, or right, if you're on this, the metal's not really connected other than the hinges, it's hard to get the ground signal all the way back to the back. So a lot of people have run into problems with the lights. So what I ended up doing was I just ran a dedicated ground wire back to all the lights. So the way I ended up going is I routed it here underneath the tunnel. And I went ahead and went past most people have you come up here to connect to the light. What I did is went ahead and went back all the way and then came back to hit these side lights. And then I ran a wire, right, with just the brown and the ground, because basically, right, it's not a signal based light for the 2 side panels. So I could run the same brown wire to this wire, that light, and then just tag into splice into the brown and the white for this signal, and then used a butt end on the other signal, on the other side light. And then the 4 wire set, I went down, I went through this hole, created a loop down on the bottom, and then came back up on this loop. And then once I got onto the other side, now this top piece is actually the back end of the trailer. Now I split the wire. So I'm only dealing then with a pinch point at one spot rather than having one on each end of the trailer. So basically, right as it comes up, and then I split the wire, the yellow wire goes to the right-hand side, and then right side, left side, the driver's side, and then the green wire comes up here for this light. But basically, again, what I'm dealing with is just a pinch point here, which is past the swivel, so you're not having to deal with a lot of extra slack there. Slack back on the back to handle the lifting and the splitting this in half. And then once I'm on the back half, I split the wire and ran one to one light and then ran the other to the other. So that's how I ended up doing it. This is Big Daddy Mike just talking to you, explaining how I did the Harbor Freight 4x8 fold up trailer. Talk to you later. Bye.